Hannah was 28 years old, a beautiful woman with dark brown skin and a smile that could light up the darkest room. She was not rich, and she was not famous, but she had something more valuable than money. She had love. She married Emmanuel when they had nothing. Emmanuel was tall, handsome, and intelligent, had dreams far bigger than his circumstances, but life had not opened its doors to him yet. They lived in a tiny one-room apartment in Oshodi, Lagos, a small room with a leaking roof. The bed was old, the walls were cracked, but they cleaned it every day and made it their own. The sun was hot that afternoon in Oshodi Market, Lagos. Sweat rolled down Emmanuel's face as he arranged oranges on the small wooden table. His shirt was torn at the shoulder, his shoes had holes, but his smile was bright. Oranges. Sweet oranges, he shouted to people passing by. Beside him, Hannah wiped her forehead with her wrapper. She was selling tomatoes, her voice joining his in the noise of the market. Fresh tomatoes. Come and buy. They had been married for 3 years, and every single day they came to this market together. Some people laughed at them. Some people said they were too poor to be happy. But Emmanuel and Hannah did not care. They had each other, and that was enough. When evening came and they packed their goods, Emmanuel counted the money. 2,000 naira. Not much, but it was something. Hannah, we made small profit today, he said, holding her hand. She smiled. God will bless us more tomorrow. They walked home together, their fingers locked. That night, Hannah cooked rice and stew with the little money they had. Emmanuel ate and laughed, telling her stories about the funny customers at the market. She laughed with him, her eyes shining with love. Emmanuel, she said quietly, I have something to tell you. He looked up from his plate. What is it? Hannah's hands were shaking. I went to the hospital yesterday. Emmanuel's heart jumped. Are you sick? She shook her head, tears filling her eyes. No. I'm pregnant. For a moment, Emmanuel just stared at her. Then he jumped up, lifted her off the ground, and spun her around. She laughed and cried at the same time. We are going to have a baby, he shouted. Hannah, we are going to be parents. That night, they lay on their small bed, her head on his chest, his hand on her stomach. I promise you, Emmanuel whispered, I will give you and this child the world. We will not be poor forever. Hannah kissed his hand. As long as we are together, we are already rich. Months passed. Their baby girl was born. They named her Joy because that was exactly what she brought into their lives. Joy had her mother's eyes and her father's smile. Hannah would carry Joy on her back while selling tomatoes. Emmanuel would make funny faces to make the baby laugh while arranging his oranges. Customers loved them. Some bought from them just to see the family that loved each other so much. You people are always smiling, one woman said. Even in poverty, you are happy. Emmanuel looked at Hannah and Joy. Madam, we are not poor. We have love. That is the greatest wealth. One day, Emmanuel had an idea. Hannah, what if we stop selling for other people? What if we open our own small shop? Hannah's eyes grew wide. Our own shop? But where will we get the money? We will save, he said. Small, we will save. And they did. Every night, they put aside 50 naira, sometimes 100. They stopped buying new clothes. They ate less meat. For 1 full year, they saved. Finally, they had enough to rent a tiny shop. It was just a wooden structure with a zinc roof, but it was theirs. They sold provisions, sugar, rice, soap, salt. Hannah would stay at the shop with Joy while Emmanuel went to buy goods from the wholesalers. Business was slow at first, but they did not give up. They treated every customer with respect. They gave honest measure. They smiled even when they were tired. Slowly, people started coming back. Then more people came. Then even more. By the time Joy turned 5, they had hired their first worker. By the time she turned 7, they had moved to a better house, 2 bedrooms with a real roof that did not leak. Emmanuel would hold Hannah at night and whisper, "We did it. We are no longer suffering." Hannah would smile and say, "We built this together." And that was the truth. Everything they had, they built together. Joy was 8 years old now, smart and full of life. She went to a good school, wore clean uniforms, and came home every day excited to tell her parents what she learned. The shop had grown big. Emmanuel now supplied goods to other small shops. He wore better clothes, drove a fairly used car, and people in the neighborhood called him Ogre Emmanuel. Hannah managed the main shop with 3 workers. She kept the accounts, paid the suppliers, and made sure everything ran well. They were a team. Every evening, they sat together to count the day's money and plan for tomorrow. God has been faithful to us, Hannah would say. Emmanuel always agreed. And you have been faithful to me. I could not have done any of this without you. One Saturday afternoon, Joy ran out of the house to buy candy from the woman across the street. Hannah was inside cooking. Emmanuel was in the shop. Suddenly, a loud horn blasted. Hannah looked up and saw a large delivery truck speeding down their street, out of control. The driver was shouting, the brakes were screaming. And right in the path of the truck was Joy. Hannah did not think. She just ran. Her legs moved faster than they ever had before. Her heart pounded in her chest. She could hear her own voice screaming Joy's name, but it sounded far away. She reached Joy just in time. She pushed her daughter hard to the side of the road. But Hannah herself could not move fast enough. The truck hit her. The sound was terrible. People screamed. Emmanuel heard the noise and ran out of the shop. What he saw made his legs weak. Hannah was on the ground, not moving. Joy was crying, calling for her mother. Blood was everywhere. Hannah! Hannah! Emmanuel fell to his knees beside her. Her eyes opened slightly. Joy, is Joy okay? Yes, she's fine. You saved her. Please, stay with me. Neighbors came running. Someone called an ambulance. Emmanuel carried Hannah into his car, not waiting. Joy sat in the back, holding her mother's hand, crying. At the hospital, doctors rushed Hannah into surgery. Emmanuel paced up and down the waiting room, praying, crying, begging God. Hours passed. Finally, a doctor came out, his face serious. Mr. Emmanuel, your wife is alive. Emmanuel's knees almost gave way with relief. Thank God. Can I see her? The doctor raised his hand. But there is something you need to know. The damage to her spine was very bad. We did everything we could. Emmanuel's heart began to beat fast again. What are you saying, doctor? Your wife may never walk again. The words felt like another truck hitting him. Emmanuel stared at the doctor, unable to speak. She is paralyzed from the waist down. We will do therapy, but you must prepare yourself. She will need a wheelchair. But inside, his mind was spinning. Wheelchair. Paralyzed. Never walk again. When he finally went into the hospital room and saw Hannah lying there, her eyes open, looking at him, he tried to smile. Hannah, thank God you are alive. She tried to smile back, but tears rolled down her face. Emmanuel, they told me. I cannot feel my legs. He sat beside her, holding her hand. Don't worry. We will face this together. You saved our daughter. You are a hero. Hannah cried harder. But I cannot walk. How will I help you in the shop? How will I take care of Joy? Emmanuel squeezed her hand. You have taken care of us all these years. Now it is my turn to take care of you. I promise you, nothing will change. We will still be together. Hannah looked into his eyes, searching for the truth. And in that moment, she believed him. But what neither of them knew was that promises made in hospital rooms are easy to say and hard to keep. The accident had saved their daughter's life, but it was about to change everything else. 6 months had passed since the accident. Hannah was home now, but everything had changed. The wheelchair sat in the corner of their bedroom. Every morning, Emmanuel would lift her from the bed and place her in it. At first, he did it with a smile. He would kiss her forehead and say, "Good morning, my beautiful wife." But as weeks turned into months, the smile began to fade. Hannah noticed it first in small ways. The way he looked away when he helped her bathe. The way his jaw became tight when she asked him to carry her to the toilet. The way he sighed when she needed help getting dressed. "Emmanuel, am I too heavy?" she asked one morning. He did not answer right away. Then he said, No, I'm just tired from work." But Hannah knew. She could see it in his eyes. She was becoming a burden. The business was growing bigger. Emmanuel now had meetings with rich suppliers and business partners. People wanted to see him, to work with him. His phone rang all day with new opportunities. One evening, he came home dressed in a new suit. "Hannah, there is a big dinner tonight. Important people will be there. People who can help our business grow. Hannah's face brightened. That's wonderful. Let me get ready. Joy can stay with the neighbor. Emmanuel's face changed. Hannah, maybe you should rest. You've been sitting all day. You must be tired. Her smile disappeared. Emmanuel, I want to come. I want to be by your side. He looked down at his shoes. It's just, the place has stairs. It will be difficult with the wheelchair. We can manage, she said quietly. We always manage. Something in her voice made him feel bad. He agreed. That night at the dinner, Hannah saw everything clearly. The way people stared at her wheelchair. The way conversations stopped when Emmanuel pushed her to the table. The way his business partners looked at him with pity. One man leaned close to Emmanuel and said, "Sorry about your wife, my brother. These things happen." Emmanuel's face turned red. He smiled and nodded, but Hannah could see the shame in his eyes. On the drive home, neither of them spoke. When they reached the house, Emmanuel helped her inside without a word. "Emmanuel," Hannah said softly, "I saw how you felt tonight. You were ashamed of me." "That's not true," he said, but he would not look at her. "Then look at me," she begged. "Look at me and tell me you are not ashamed." He turned away. "I'm going to sleep in the guest room. I have early meetings tomorrow." From that night, everything changed faster. Emmanuel stopped taking her anywhere. When people asked about his wife, he would change the topic. Church services, family gatherings, business events, he went alone. Joy noticed too. "Daddy, why doesn't Mommy come with us anymore?" "Mommy is resting," he would say. "She needs to rest." But Hannah was not resting. She was dying inside, little by little, watching her husband walk away from her. She tried to talk to him many times. "Emmanuel, please. Talk to me. Tell me what is wrong." "Nothing is wrong," he would say coldly. "I'm just busy building our future." "Our future?" she asked. "Or your future?" He walked out without answering. The guest room became his permanent bedroom. He would come home late, eat alone, and lock himself in. Sometimes Hannah would hear him on the phone, laughing and talking sweetly. But when he spoke to her, his voice was hard and empty. One night, Joy came to her mother crying. "Mommy, why doesn't Daddy love you anymore? Why doesn't he smile at you like before?" Hannah held her daughter close, trying not to cry. "Daddy is just stressed, my dear. He still loves us." But she did not believe her own words. She would sit by the window every night, watching him come home later and later. She would smell perfume on his clothes, perfume that was not hers. She would see text messages flash on his phone before he quickly hid it away. Hannah knew what was happening. Her husband was leaving her, not with his feet, but with his heart. And there was nothing she could do to stop it. She was trapped in a wheelchair, trapped in a marriage that was dying, trapped in a pain that nobody could see. And just when her world was falling apart, someone else stepped into Emmanuel's life. Her name was Doris. She was 28 years old, beautiful, and she knew it. She wore tight dresses, high heels, and red lipstick that made men turn their heads. Doris worked as a sales representative for one of the big companies that supplied goods to Emmanuel. The first time they met, she complimented his success. "Mr. Emmanuel, I have heard so much about you. They say you are the rising star of this business." Emmanuel smiled, feeling proud. "I just work hard, that's all." "And it shows," she said, touching his arm lightly. "A man like you deserves to be celebrated." That touch. That smile. It lit something inside him that had been cold for months. They started meeting for business lunches. At first, it was truly about work, orders, payments, delivery schedules. But soon, the conversations changed. "So, Mr. Emmanuel, tell me about yourself. Who is the man behind the success?" He found himself talking, opening up in ways he had not done in a long time. Doris listened, laughed at his jokes, made him feel important. "You work so hard," she said one afternoon. "Does your wife appreciate all you do?" Emmanuel's face became dark. "My wife, she doesn't understand. She just sits at home all day." Doris leaned closer. "Sits at home? Why?" He hesitated, then said quietly, "She had an accident. She can't walk anymore." Doris's eyes went wide, but not with sympathy. With opportunity. "Oh my God, That must be so hard for you, she said, placing her hand over his. Taking care of someone like that, it must be so stressful. You need someone who can stand beside you, not someone you have to carry. Her words were poison, but Emmanuel drank them like water. The lunches became more frequent. Then came the evening drinks. Then came the hotel visits. Hannah knew something was very wrong when she found a receipt in his pocket. Transcorp Hilton Hotel. Room service for 2. Champagne. Her hands shook as she held the paper. That night, when he came home, she was waiting in the living room. Emmanuel, who is she? He stopped at the door. Who is who? What are you talking about? She held up the receipt. This. Who were you with at the hotel? His face became angry. Are you spying on me now? Going through my pockets like a crazy woman? I'm your wife. Hannah's voice broke. I have a right to know if my husband is cheating on me. Emmanuel walked closer, his eyes cold. You want to know the truth? Yes. There is someone else. Someone who can walk. Someone who doesn't need me to carry her to the bathroom. Someone who makes me feel like a man, not a nurse. Hannah's world stopped. She stared at him, unable to breathe. How can you say that to me? She whispered. I became like this saving our daughter. Your daughter. And I'm grateful, he said without feeling. But that doesn't mean I have to suffer for the rest of my life. Look at you, Hannah. Look at yourself. You can't even stand up. You're holding me back. Tears poured down her face. Emmanuel, please. Don't do this. Think about Joy. Think about everything we built together. We built. He laughed bitterly. I built this business. You just sat in that wheelchair and watched. That's not fair, she cried. I was there from the beginning. Every plan, every decision, we made it together. That was before, he said coldly. Things are different now. Joy heard the shouting and ran out of her room. Daddy, why are you hurting Mommy? Why are you making her cry? Emmanuel looked at his daughter, and for a moment, guilt crossed his face. But pride pushed it away. Go back to your room, Joy. This is adult business. No. Joy ran to her mother and hugged her. Leave my mommy alone. Emmanuel grabbed his car keys. I'm going out. Don't wait for me. He left, slamming the door so hard the windows shook. Hannah held Joy and cried like she had never cried before. Her daughter cried with her, not fully understanding, but feeling every bit of the pain. That night, Doris was waiting for Emmanuel at her apartment, wearing a smile and nothing else that mattered. 1 year had passed since Emmanuel admitted he was cheating. 1 full year of pain that Hannah thought could not get worse. But she was wrong. Emmanuel now barely came home. 3 nights a week, sometimes 4, he would send a text message, working late. Don't wait up. Hannah knew he was lying. She knew he was with Doris. The whole neighborhood knew. People whispered when she rolled her wheelchair outside. They looked at her with pity, and that pity hurt more than the betrayal itself. Hannah's sister came to visit one afternoon and found her crying in the kitchen. Hannah, you cannot continue like this. Leave him. Come and stay with me. But Hannah shook her head. I can't leave. What about Joy? This is her father's house. And where will I go in this wheelchair? Who will want me? Her sister knelt beside the wheelchair and held her hands. You are still a human being. You still have value. Don't let him kill your spirit. But Emmanuel was already killing it, slowly, day by day. Joy was now 9 years old, and she had become like a small adult. She would help her mother bathe, help her get dressed, bring her food, and sleep beside her when she cried at night. Mommy, when I grow up, I will take care of you forever, Joy would say. And Hannah would hold her daughter and weep, knowing that a 9-year-old child should not have to carry such heavy weight. One evening, Emmanuel came home earlier than usual. Hannah was surprised. She tried to smile at him. Welcome home. Are you hungry? Joy and I made rice. He ignored her greeting and sat down on the sofa. His face was serious. Hannah, we need to talk. Her heart began to beat fast. Nothing good ever started with those words. What is it? She asked. It's about Joy, he said. I've been thinking. She's getting older now. She needs better education, better opportunities. Hannah relaxed a little. Yes, that's true. We can look for a better school here in Lagos. No, Emmanuel said firmly. Not here. I want to send her to America. My aunt lives in Texas now. Joy can stay with her and go to school there. Hannah's blood went cold. What? No. No, Emmanuel. She's only 9 years old. She's too young to be so far away. She'll be fine, he said without feeling. Children adapt quickly. But I won't be fine. Hannah's voice rose. She's all I have. She's the only one who still loves me in this house. You want to take her away from me too? Emmanuel stood up, his voice hard. This is not about you, Hannah. This is about Joy's future. She spends all her time taking care of you when she should be playing with friends, studying, living like a normal child. You're holding her back. The words cut like a knife. I'm holding her back? I'm her mother. She needs me. She needs a better life, he said coldly. And frankly, I think it's better for her to be away from here. Away from all this sadness and crying. It's not healthy for a child. Hannah began to cry. Emmanuel, please. Don't do this. I'm begging you. Don't take my daughter away from me. I've already made the arrangements, he said. The visa is approved. She leaves next month. You did this without asking me? Hannah could not believe it. You'll still talk to her on video call, he said, as if that made everything okay. It's not like she's dying. She's just going to get a better life. Hannah could not speak, she could barely breathe. Emmanuel had made the decision alone. He didn't see her as a partner anymore. Not even as a mother with rights. Over the next several days, the house felt silent. Heavy. Hannah cried every night. Emmanuel stayed away, avoiding the pain he was causing. Then one morning, she woke up to a strange emptiness in the house. Emmanuel was gone as usual, but this time, Joy's room was quiet, too quiet. Hannah wheeled herself to the doorway. The bed was neatly made. The suitcase at the corner was gone. The toys were arranged, untouched. The small pink backpack Joy used for school was no longer hanging on the chair. Hannah knew instantly, Emmanuel had taken her. He had taken their daughter without saying goodbye. She rolled herself slowly into the room. The silence was so deep it felt like the walls were grieving with her. A small hair ribbon lay on the floor, the only sign that a child once lived there. Hannah picked it up, held it to her chest, and closed her eyes. Her daughter was gone. No farewell. No embrace. No final moment together. Just gone. Later that day, Emmanuel sent a short message. Joy has arrived safely. She will call once she settles in. That was it. A single line. No apology or explanation. Hannah stared at the text on her phone. She wasn't angry, crying, or even thinking. She was empty. A part of her had been removed from her life, quietly, cruelly, and without mercy. When Emmanuel eventually returned home, he found her sitting in the living room, motionless, staring at the wall. Let's try to move forward, he said casually, as if nothing had happened. Hannah did not reply. She simply turned her wheelchair toward her bedroom. 2 months after Joy left for America, Emmanuel brought Doris home. Hannah was in the living room when they walked in together. Doris was wearing a short dress and carrying shopping bags. She looked around the house like she owned it. So this is the place, she said, smiling. It's nice. It needs some changes, but it's nice. Hannah's hands gripped the wheelchair. Emmanuel, what is this? Why is she here? He did not look at her. Doris will be staying here from now on. Staying here? Hannah's voice shook. In my house? In the house we built together? Doris laughed. Your house? Girl, please. This is Emmanuel's house. He paid for it. With money we both worked for. Hannah shouted. Emmanuel finally looked at her, and his eyes were cold. Hannah, I'm tired. I'm tired of pretending. I'm tired of living like this. Doris makes me happy. She's staying, and if you don't like it, you can leave. She could not believe what she was hearing. Leave? Where will I go? I have nothing. You know I have nothing. That's not my problem anymore, he said. Doris walked past her wheelchair and went straight to the bedroom that Hannah had shared with Emmanuel for years. You can't let her sleep in our room, Hannah begged. Emmanuel, please. Have some respect. My room, he corrected her. And yes, she can. That night, Hannah heard them laughing in the bedroom. She heard the bed making noise. She covered her ears and stayed awake in silence, unable to sleep, unable to breathe. The next morning, Doris walked into the kitchen where Hannah was trying to make tea. "Let me give you some advice," Doris said, leaning against the counter. "You need to start looking for somewhere else to stay. Emmanuel doesn't want you here anymore. You're just making things awkward for everybody." "I'm his wife," Hannah said quietly. "On paper, maybe," Doris replied. "But in reality? You're just the woman in the wheelchair who reminds him of his past. I'm his future." Hannah said nothing. What could she say? The weekly video calls with Joy became her only reason to stay alive. Every Saturday, Emmanuel allowed her 10 minutes. "Jay, Mommy, are you okay?" Joy would ask, her little face calm and steady on the screen. "Yes, baby. I'm okay. How is school?" "It's fine," Joy said. "I'm learning new things. But I miss you." Hannah forced a smile. "I miss you too, my love." She never told Joy what was happening. A child didn't need to carry that kind of pain. One Friday evening, Emmanuel came home with papers in his hand. He threw them on Hannah's lap. "What is this?" she asked. "Divorce papers," he said simply. "Sign them." Hannah looked at the papers, then at him. "You want to divorce me? After everything?" "Yes," he said without shame. "I want to marry Doris. We're going to start a proper life together. You're just in the way." "But I'm your wife. I gave you everything. I saved your daughter. I became like this because of this family. And I'm grateful, but gratitude doesn't mean I have to spend the rest of my life unhappy. Sign the papers, Hannah." "No," she said firmly. "I won't sign. You married me before God. You cannot just throw me away." His face hardened. "Fine. If you won't leave willingly, I'll make you leave." He grabbed her wheelchair and pushed her toward the door. "Emmanuel, what are you doing?" Her voice broke in shock. He opened the door and pushed her outside. Then he went back in, came out with a small bag, and dropped it at her feet. "There. That's your things. Now leave my property." "Emmanuel, please." Hannah begged. "Where will I go? How will I survive? I can't walk. I have no money." "You should have thought about that before you refused to sign the papers," he said. Neighbors came out and watched the scene. Some shook their heads. Others simply stared. Not one person stepped forward. Doris appeared at the door, smiling. "Finally. Now we can have some peace." Emmanuel went back inside and locked the door. Hannah sat in her wheelchair outside the gate, alone, with one small bag and nowhere to go. She knocked on the gate. "Emmanuel. Emmanuel, please. At least give me some money." No answer. She called his phone. It rang once, then he blocked her. Hannah sat there until midnight. Then she slowly wheeled herself down the street. She had no plan, no strength, no place to run to. Her parents were dead. Her siblings were struggling. Her old friends had drifted away long ago. Emmanuel had made sure she depended on him for everything. There was only one place she could think of, her parents' old house in the mainland. Nobody lived there anymore. It was broken down, forgotten. But it was the only place left. It took her a day to reach there. She begged rides from strangers. She slept in open spaces. She ate only when someone was kind enough to offer food. When she finally reached the old house, she stared at it for a long time. The roof was half gone and windows were broken. But it was hers. The last thing life had not taken from her. Hannah wheeled herself inside, and the weight of everything she had endured finally fell on her shoulders. She simply sat there in the quiet ruins of her past. Alone, discarded, cast out into darkness. 3 months had passed since Emmanuel threw Hannah out. 3 months of suffering that would have killed a weaker person. Every morning, Hannah woke up on the cold floor of her parents' old house. Her body ached from sleeping on the hard ground. Rats ran across the room at night. When it rained, water poured through the broken roof and soaked her clothes. But the physical pain was nothing compared to the loneliness. Joy was far away in America, and Emmanuel had cut off all contact. Hannah could no longer reach her daughter, not because she didn't have a phone, but because she had no number, no way to contact Joy at all. Emmanuel had changed everything after sending Joy abroad, leaving Hannah completely in the dark. She and Emmanuel had shared a single joint account for 10 years, but Emmanuel had always been the one controlling it. Her signature meant nothing. He approved all withdrawals, all transfers, all decisions. And the day he threw her out, he changed the password and locked her out completely. Now Hannah had nothing. Not even enough to buy food for a day. She checked her wrapper pocket each morning and saw the same thing, 4,000 naira notes. That was all she had left in the world. To survive, she had to do something she never imagined. She started hawking on the streets. Every day, she used those last few naira notes to buy pure water sachets. She would load them into a small basin, place the basin on her lap, and wheel herself along the dusty roads of the rural community, shouting, "Pure water! Cold pure water!" People stared. Some laughed. Some felt sorry for her. Children would run after her wheelchair, mocking her. "Look at the crippled woman," they would shout. "Move faster. You're blocking the road." Every word hurt, but Hannah had no choice. If she did not sell, she would not eat. Some days she made 500 naira. Some days she made nothing. On those days, she went to bed hungry, her stomach twisting in pain. One night, sitting alone in the dark house, Hannah thought about ending everything. She looked at the rope hanging from the ceiling beam. It would be so easy. Just tie it, pull herself up somehow, and let go. The pain would finally stop. She even wrote a letter to Joy. "My precious daughter, Mommy is sorry. I tried to be strong, but I am too tired now. Please forgive me. I love you forever." But then, as she held the letter, she heard Joy's voice in her mind. Not a real voice, but a memory. "Mommy, you're the strongest woman in the world. I believe in you." Hannah folded the letter and cried instead. She would live one more day. For Joy. Only for Joy. The next morning, she went back to the streets with her water. A big black car parked near her usual selling spot. The driver stepped out first and opened the back door. An older man stepped out, tall, gray-haired, wearing a simple but clean shirt. He walked over to her. "Good afternoon, madam. How much is one bag of water?" "100 naira, sir," she said quietly, not looking up. He bought 2 bags but gave her 200 naira. "Keep the change." Hannah looked up in surprise. "Sir, that's too much." He smiled kindly. "It's fine. You look like you need it." Before she could thank him, he walked away. The next day, he came again. And the next. For a whole week, he bought water from her every day, paying far more than the price. And each time, he smiled at her with genuine kindness, something she had not seen in years. On the 8th day, he did something different. He did not walk away. He stood there, studying her wheelchair and her tired face. "What is your name?" he asked. "Hannah, sir." "And how long have you been selling water like this?" 3 months, sir." He was quiet for a moment, then asked, "Why is someone like you doing this kind of hard work? Don't you have family? A husband?" Tears filled Hannah's eyes. She did not want to break down in front of a stranger, but the gentle tone of his voice unlocked something inside her. "I had a husband, sir. But he sent me away." The man's expression changed. "Because of the wheelchair?" Hannah nodded. "Where do you stay?" he asked. "In my late parents' house, sir. It's not far from here." He reached into his pocket and pulled out a sleek business card. "My name is Chief Thomas," he said gently. "I own several companies across Nigeria: construction, manufacturing, distribution. I came to this rural area to inspect one of my new plastic factories down the road." Hannah looked up, eyes widening. He smiled warmly. "Here is my personal number. If you ever need help, call me." Hannah took the card with trembling hands. "Thank you, sir. God bless you." Chief Thomas looked at her for a long moment. There was something in his eyes, pain, understanding. "I lost my wife 3 years ago," he said quietly. "I know what it feels like to be alone. Nobody should suffer without help." Then he walked back to his car and drove away. Hannah held the card to her chest and whispered, "Maybe God has not forgotten me after all." For 2 more weeks, Chief Thomas came every day to buy water. But he was doing more than buying. He was watching. He saw how people treated Hannah, how the women insulted her. He saw how hard she worked just to make a few naira. One afternoon, it started raining heavily. Hannah tried to rush to find shelter, but her wheelchair got stuck in the mud. She pushed and pushed, but could not move. People ran past her, not stopping to help. The rain soaked her completely. The water she was selling slipped from her lap and scattered on the ground. Hannah sat there in the rain and the mud, silent, helpless, watching everything she earned wash away. Then she heard a voice. "Hannah." Chief Thomas ran toward her, not caring that the rain was soaking his expensive clothes. He pushed her wheelchair out of the mud and rolled her under a nearby shop roof. "Are you okay?" he asked, breathing hard. Hannah could not answer. Her chest felt tight. Her throat burned. She lowered her head and tears mixed with the rain on her face. Chief Thomas knelt beside her wheelchair, right there on the wet ground, and said, "Enough. You cannot continue like this. Please, let me help you." "Sir, you have already helped me so much." "No," he interrupted. "Real help. I want you to stop selling water. I want you to come and stay in my guest house. I have one that nobody is using. You'll have food, a clean bed, everything you need." Hannah's eyes widened. "Sir, I cannot. People will talk. They will say I am your girlfriend." "Let them talk," Chief Thomas said firmly. "I am not asking you to be anything except safe. You are suffering for no reason, and I will not watch it anymore." "But sir, why? Why do you care so much about me? You don't even know me." Chief Thomas stood up slowly. His voice softened. "My wife, before she died, she told me something. She said, 'Thomas, when I am gone, don't let your heart die with me. If you see someone suffering, help them. That is how you will honor my memory.'" His eyes became wet. "She had cancer. For 5 years, I watched her suffer. I bathed her, fed her, carried her, and I never complained once because I loved her. When she died, I thought I would never care about anyone again. But when I saw you in that wheelchair, working so hard, being treated so badly, I saw her. And I knew I had to help." Hannah lowered her face into her hands. "Your wife was very blessed to have you, sir." "No," he said gently. "I was blessed to have her. She taught me what love really means. Love doesn't run away when things get hard. Love stays." Those words broke Hannah's heart because she knew Emmanuel never had that kind of love. After many days of refusing, Hannah finally agreed. She had no strength left to fight. She let Chief Thomas help her. The guest house was like heaven. It was small but clean. The bed was soft. The bathroom had everything she needed. Chief Thomas even hired a young woman named Patience to help Hannah with cooking and cleaning. For the first time in months, Hannah ate a full meal. She took a warm bath. She slept without rain pouring on her face. She cried herself to sleep, but this time, the tears were lighter. They were tears of relief. The next morning, Chief Thomas came to check on her. "How are you feeling?" "Like I'm dreaming, sir," Hannah said. "I keep thinking I will wake up back in that old house." "This is not a dream," he said kindly. "You are safe now." Over the next few weeks, Chief Thomas brought doctors to examine her. They checked her legs, ran tests, asked many questions. Finally, one doctor said something that changed everything. "Madam Hannah, the damage to your spine is serious, yes. But it is not completely hopeless. There is a hospital in America that does a special surgery for cases like yours. It is expensive, but there is a chance, maybe 50%, that you could walk again." Hannah froze. "Walk again? Is that really possible?" The doctor nodded. "It is not a promise, but it is possible." Hannah looked at Chief Thomas, and he was already smiling. "Then we are going to America," he said simply. While Hannah was preparing to travel to America for her surgery, Emmanuel was busy living his new life with Doris in Lagos. Everything seemed perfect on the surface. Doris was now fully settled in the house, acting like she had always been the woman of the home. She redecorated everything, threw away Hannah's pictures, and filled the house with her perfumes, clothes, and expensive taste. "This place looks like a village woman lived here," Doris said, wrinkling her nose. "We need to change everything. New curtains, new furniture, new everything." Emmanuel gave her whatever she wanted: new leather sofas, expensive decorations, a new king-size bed. He wanted to impress her, to make her happy. Doris also started getting involved in the business. She would come to the store, sit in Hannah's old office, and give orders to the workers. "You, arrange these goods properly. You there, Sweep this place. It's too dirty. How can chairman's business look like this? The workers did not like her, but they obeyed because Emmanuel allowed it. Emmanuel even started taking Doris to business meetings. He wanted to show her off. She would wear tight dresses, high heels, and sit beside him while he negotiated deals. "This is Doris, my woman," he would introduce her, too ashamed to say wife because everyone knew he had a wife somewhere. The business partners would smile politely, but Emmanuel could see the judgment in their eyes. Some of them stopped calling him for deals after that. "Baby, I need a new car," Doris would say. "That small one you bought me is too common. I want a Range Rover." And Emmanuel would find a way to buy it, even when his business account was getting lower. Doris spent money like water. New clothes every week. Expensive shoes from abroad. Trips to Dubai and London. Jewelry that cost more than some people earned in a year. The problem started when Emmanuel tried to set boundaries. "Doris, we need to reduce spending. The business is not making as much profit as before." She looked at him like he was insulting her. "Reduce spending? Are you going broke? Because if you are, you better tell me now. I didn't leave my comfortable life to come and suffer with you." "What comfortable life?" Emmanuel asked, confused. "You were just a sales representative when I met you." "Sales executive," she corrected sharply, eyes flashing. "And I had many men chasing me. Rich men. Richer than you. I chose you because you were going somewhere. Don't make me regret my choice." Emmanuel stared at her, shocked by her coldness. But he said nothing. Pride wouldn't let him admit he had made a mistake. Meanwhile, the business continued struggling. Emmanuel had been so distracted by Doris that he stopped paying attention to important details. He owed suppliers money. Customers were going to competitors. The workers were unhappy because Doris treated them badly. One of his oldest business partners, Chief Okafor, called him for a meeting. "Emmanuel, what is happening to you? You used to be sharp, focused, reliable. Now you're always late, always making excuses. Your standards have dropped. People are talking." "What are they saying?" Emmanuel asked, though he already suspected. Chief Okafor sighed. "They say you destroyed your home for a woman who is destroying you. They say you threw away a good wife like trash, and now karma is coming for you. Nobody wants to do business with a man who has no honor. Business is about trust, and you've shown you cannot be trusted." Emmanuel's cheeks burned with shame. "My personal life is nobody's business." "In this community, everything is everybody's business," the man said sadly. "Your wife Hannah was respected. People knew she built that business with you. Now you parade another woman around like she's a trophy. It's shameful, Emmanuel. People laugh at you behind your back." That night, Emmanuel came home frustrated. He needed someone to talk to. Someone to understand him. But Doris didn't care. "Doris, are you even listening to me? I might lose the Okafor contract." She yawned. "Baby, please. Can we talk about this boring business matter later? I'm trying to choose which dress to wear for Cynthia's birthday party tomorrow." "What party?" Emmanuel asked. "Eco Hotel. You said you would give me money for a new outfit, remember?" "Doris, I just told you the business is struggling. I can't afford to throw money around right now." She turned to him slowly. "So you're broke now? Is that what you're trying to tell me?" "I'm not broke. I just need to be careful with spending." She folded her arms. "Let me tell you something, Emmanuel. I am a high-maintenance woman. If you cannot maintain me, then we have a problem. A serious problem." "Is that all you care about? Money?" "Yes," she shouted without shame. "You think I'm here because I love you? Please. I'm here because you provide for me. The day you stop providing, I'm gone. Simple." Her words hit him like cold water. For the first time, he saw her clearly. Hannah used to pray for him, encourage him, support him, build with him. Doris only spent, and demanded, and consumed. But Emmanuel's pride still would not let him admit he had lost a good woman. Things worsened. He began drinking heavily. He stayed out late. Doris didn't care where he went. She was too busy shopping, partying, posting pictures online. One evening, Emmanuel was driving home after drinking too much at a bar. His mind was spinning with stress, money problems, business collapsing, the emptiness he felt around Doris. Then he saw the lights. A big trailer coming straight toward him. He tried to turn the wheel, but his drunk reflexes were too slow. The crash came like thunder. Metal twisting, glass exploding. His own voice shouting in fear. Then, darkness. Emmanuel was in a coma for 2 months. When he finally woke up fully and understood what the doctors were telling him, he wished he had died in the accident. The damage to your spine was severe, the doctor explained gently. We did everything we could. With therapy, you may walk again someday, but for now, you will need a wheelchair. Maybe for a year, maybe longer. A wheelchair. The same thing Hannah needed, the same thing he mocked her for, the same thing that made him ashamed to be seen with her. Now it was his turn. Doris came to visit him once in the hospital. She stood at the door, looking at him with disgust, like he was a stranger. So it's true, she said flatly. You really can't walk. Doris, please, Emmanuel begged, tears in his eyes. I need you. Don't leave me now. I'll get better. The doctor said with therapy. She laughed, a cold, cruel laugh. Leave you? Baby, I'm already gone. Do you think I'm going to waste my time and my beauty taking care of a cripple? I'm 28 years old. I have my whole life ahead of me. I'm not spending it changing your diapers. But you said you loved me. I loved your money, she said simply. And speaking of money, I took it. All of it. Your bank accounts are empty. Well, almost empty. I left you 50,000 naira. That should buy you some adult diapers. Emmanuel's eyes widened. You stole my money? Stole? No. I took what I earned for wasting time with you. Consider it payment for services rendered. She smiled wickedly. I left you the house so you have somewhere to suffer. Goodbye, Emmanuel. Now you know exactly how Hannah felt. She turned to leave, then stopped. Oh, and one more thing. That business you were so proud of? I sold some of your goods to my friends at cheap prices and kept the money. Your workers will probably steal the rest. Enjoy your new life, cripple. Her heels clicked on the tiles as she walked away. Emmanuel cried like a baby. Not for the money or for Doris, but because he finally understood the pain he caused Hannah. Meanwhile, Doris moved to Abuja with the money. She rented a luxury apartment, bought new clothes, and started partying every weekend. But the money finished fast. Her lifestyle was too expensive. Then one night, while driving home drunk from a party, she crashed her car into a pole. Her face smashed into the windshield. At the hospital, the doctor said, "Your life is safe, but your face, there is serious scarring. We can do surgery, but it will cost millions." Doris looked in the mirror and screamed. 3 long scars across her cheek. A bent nose. One eye half closed. Her beauty was gone. She spent the last of her money on surgery, but the doctors could not restore her looks. The rich men disappeared. She ended up selling clothes on the street, hiding her face with a scarf. Broken and alone. Back in Lagos, Emmanuel's brother brought him home from the hospital. The house was a disaster. Doris had sold everything. The business was dead. His accounts were empty. Emmanuel sat in his wheelchair in the middle of the living room and broke down. I destroyed everything, he said. Where is Hannah? Where is Joy? I need to apologize. He tried to find them, but nobody knew. His aunt refused to let him speak to Joy. Joy cries for her mother every night because of you. Don't call here again, she said. Months passed. His business collapsed completely. He had nothing left but regret. Meanwhile, in America, Hannah's surgery succeeded. The day she took her first step, she cried and fell to her knees. Chief Thomas lifted her gently. You did it, Hannah. You're walking again. 6 months of therapy followed. Every day, Chief Thomas was there, encouraging her, loving her. One evening, he took her hand. Hannah, I have fallen deeply in love with you. Will you marry me? She cried and nodded. Yes. They married quietly in America. Then the greatest miracle happened. Hannah became pregnant. 8 months later, Hannah and Chief Thomas returned to Nigeria. Chief Thomas organized a beautiful party to introduce his new wife to Lagos society. Hannah walked into the hall wearing a royal blue lace dress with gold embroidery. Her baby bump showed softly under the fabric. Her hair was styled, her skin glowed, and she walked confidently on her own 2 feet. People stood up and clapped for her. A woman who had once been pushed out of her own home was now honored like a queen. Emmanuel heard about the party from neighbors. When he learned that Chief Thomas's new wife was the former Mrs. Emmanuel, his heart almost stopped. He hired a taxi to take him there. Sitting hunched in his old, rusty wheelchair, wearing faded clothes, he wheeled himself into the hall. The hall went silent. Whispers filled the room. Shock spread like fire. There she was. Hannah, walking, pregnant. Shining like light after a long, dark night. Emmanuel wheeled himself toward her, tears falling uncontrollably. "Hannah," he called, voice breaking. "Hannah, please. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for everything." Hannah turned slowly. Chief Thomas stood beside her, tall, strong, protective. Emmanuel rolled closer, sobbing. "Please, forgive me. I destroyed everything. I threw away a diamond for dust. Please, give me another chance." Hannah's eyes filled with tears, but she stayed steady. "Emmanuel," she said softly, "I forgave you long ago. But forgiveness does not mean going back to what broke me." "But look at me," Emmanuel cried. "I'm in a wheelchair now too. I understand your pain. We can help each other." Hannah knelt down to his level, one hand on her belly. "You understand now because it happened to you. But real love understands without first experiencing suffering. Real love stays through storms and does not throw people away when they become inconvenient." She stood up. "I prayed for you even after you threw me out like garbage. And I still pray for you. But my peace is here now, with someone who knows what real love is." At that moment, a small voice shouted from the back of the hall. "Mommy!" Joy ran forward, her little feet hitting the marble floor quickly. Emmanuel gasped. "Joy! My daughter!" Joy paused when she saw him. She hesitated, confused. Then she ran right past him and jumped into Hannah's arms. "Mommy, you're walking. And you're having a baby. Am I going to be a big sister?" Hannah held her daughter tight. "Yes, my love. You're going to be the best big sister in the world." Chief Thomas wrapped his arms around both of them, a complete, whole, healed family. Emmanuel watched them, broken. He saw everything he had thrown away. Everything he had destroyed. Everything he could never get back. Chief Thomas stepped forward and looked at Emmanuel with sincerity, not pride but compassion. "Sir," he said gently, "I will make sure you get proper care. I don't celebrate your suffering. But I will protect what you abandoned. And I will treasure what you treated like trash." Emmanuel lowered his head. There was no defense left in him. He wheeled himself outside slowly. While waiting for his taxi, he noticed something on the ground, his old diary, fallen from his bag. He picked it up, dusty and worn, and opened it. Inside was Hannah's handwriting from years ago. "To my beloved husband Emmanuel. Remember, love is patient, love is kind. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. Hannah." Emmanuel pressed the diary to his chest and cried with true repentance. Far away in Abuja, Doris sat on a street corner, her scarred face hidden behind a scarf, selling second-hand clothes to survive. Alone. Forgotten. Destroyed by her own choices. And inside that bright hall in Lagos, Hannah danced with her husband and daughter. Her baby kicked gently inside her. Her heart finally at peace. Her story, restored. Her joy, returned. Her shame, erased. The woman who was thrown into darkness walked again in the light. Dear viewers, what lessons did you take away from this dramatic tale? Would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed the story, please like and give us a thumbs up. Share it with friends and hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss out on our latest updates. Thanks for reading and stay blessed.